by Menuetos. Good evening, visitors. Welcome to this special last post ceremony at the Australian War Memorial. My name is Richard Cruz, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Warrant Officer Grant McFarlane, Regimental Sergeant Major of the Australian Army. Today marks the 20th anniversary of the 11th of September 2001 terrorist attacks, a moment that galvanised many countries around the world to take action. What became known as the War on Terror began that day. In a show of solidarity, Australia quickly committed support to the United States response, which sent troops to destroy Al-Qaeda, the terrorist organisation responsible for the attacks, and remove the country's ruling Taliban regime from power. Those who harboured terrorists were also marked as the enemy. Australia sent special forces in October 2001 to support the US-led coalition, and Al-Qaeda was driven from much of the country. Little more than a year after the attacks on the US, the threat of terrorism was felt closer to home. The Bali bombings on the 12th of October 2002, carried out by Jamiat Islamiyah, killed 202 people, including 88 Australians. Some of those who planned the bombings had trained in Afghanistan. Australia's part was focused on helping stabilise Uruzgan province in southern Afghanistan and supporting the new Afghan government. This commitment became part of the NATO-led International Security Assistance Force. In 2006, Australia deployed its first reconstruction task force. Roads, hospitals and schools were built, followed by a program of training and mentoring the Afghan National Army. Over 39,000 Australians were involved in the Afghanistan War. While most were from the Australian Army, they were supported by RAAF aircraft and personnel, while the Royal Australian Navy personnel similarly deployed to Afghanistan, in addition to its warships patrolling the Persian Gulf. Operations continued against the Taliban and insurgent groups with special forces raids and intense battles. There was constant patrolling with the ever-present threat of improvised explosive devices. Australia's last combat troops were withdrawn in December 2013, but around 400 personnel stayed behind in training and advisory roles. The Australian Embassy was closed on the 28th of May this year. The last troops and diplomats departed 3 weeks later. After the fall of Kabul in August 2021, ADF personnel were deployed to evacuate Australians and Afghans who had assisted Australian forces. During the 20-year involvement in the war in Afghanistan, 41 Australians died and over 260 were wounded. Others returned suffering post-traumatic stress disorder. Some later took their own lives. Of these, 43 are currently commemorated on the Roll of Honour here at the Australian War Memorial. Today, we remember the terrorist attacks of the 11th of September 2001 and those who have fallen as a result. We commemorate those listed on the Roll of Honour and those who returned home. This evening, we'd like to acknowledge Senator the Honourable Zed Seselja, representing the Prime Minister of Australia, Mr Michael Goldman, Chargé d'Affaires, Embassy of the United States of America, the Honourable Dr Andrew Lee, representing the Leader of the Federal Opposition, General Angus Campbell, Chief of Defence Force, Mrs Sharon Bowen, Member of the Council of the Australian War Memorial, and Mr Matt Anderson, Director of the Australian War Memorial. As always, we acknowledge the veterans who have served, those that are currently serving and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by attendees in honour of all those who served in Afghanistan and for those that made the ultimate sacrifice. Please join in singing the National Anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Traditionally, we would read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. On this occasion, however, we will shortly deliver the veil for the 43 soldiers whose names appear on the Afghanistan section of the Roll of Honour here at the Australian War Memorial. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid beside the pool of reflection in the following order. Senator the Honourable Zed Seselja, representing the Prime Minister of Australia. Mr. Michael Goldman, Charge d'Affaires of the United States of America. The Honourable Dr. Andrew Lee, representing the Leader of the Federal Opposition. General Angus Campbell, Chief of Defence Force. Mrs. Sharon Bowen, Member of the Council of the Australian War Memorial. Mr. Matt Anderson, Director of the Australian War Memorial. Earlier today, wreaths were laid beside the pool of reflection on behalf of guests who are unable to attend this evening. They include the Honourable Peter Dutton, Minister for Defence, the Honourable Brendan O'Connor, Shadow Minister for Defence, and the Honourable Andrew Gee, Minister for Veterans Affairs and Minister for Defence Personnel.
Sergeant Andrew Russell, Special Air Service Regiment, 16th of February 2002, aged 33. Trooper David Poppy Pearce, 2nd 14th Light Horse Regiment, Queensland Mounted Infantry, 8th of October 2007, aged 41. Sergeant Matthew Locke, Medal for Gallantry, Special Air Service Regiment, 25th of October 2007, aged 33. Private Luke Worsley, 4th Battalion Commando, the Royal Australian Regiment, 23rd of November 2007, aged 26. Lance Corporal Jason Marks, 4th Battalion Commando, the Royal Australian Regiment, 27th of April 2008, aged 27. Signaller Sean McCarthy, Special Air Service Regiment, 8th of July 2008, aged 25. Lieutenant Michael Fossil, 4th Battalion Commando, Royal Australian Regiment, 27th of November 2008, aged 25. Private Gregory Sher, 1st Commando Regiment, 4th of January 2009, aged 30. Corporal Matthew Hopkins, 7th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 16th of March 2009, aged 21. Sergeant Brett Till, Incident Response Regiment, 19th of March 2009, aged 31. Private Benjamin Renato, 1st Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 18th of July 2009, aged 22. Sapper Jacob Morland, 2nd Combat Engineer Regiment, 7th of June 2010, aged 21. Sapper Darren Smith, 2nd Combat Engineer Regiment, 7th of June 2010, aged 26. Private Timothy Applin, 2nd Commando Regiment, 21st of June 2010, aged 38. Private Scott Palmer, 2nd Commando Regiment, 21 June 2010, aged 27. Private Benjamin Chuck, 2nd Commando Regiment, 21st of June 2010, aged 27. Private Nathan Hughes, 6th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 9th of July 2010, aged 23. Trooper Jason Brown, Special Air Service Regiment, 13th of August 2010, aged 29. Private Thomas Dale, 6th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 20th of August 2010, aged 21. Private Grant Kirby, 6th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 20th of August 2010, aged 35. Lance Corporal Jared McKinney, 6th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 24th of August 2010, aged 26. Corporal Richard Atkinson, 1st Combat Engineer Regiment, 2nd of February 2011, aged 22. Sapper Jamie Larkham, 1st Combat Engineer Regiment, 19th of February 2011, aged 21. Sergeant Brett Wood, Medal for Gallantry, Distinguished Service Medal, 2nd Commando Regiment, 23rd of May 2011, aged 32. Lance Corporal Andrew Jones, 9th Force Support Battalion, 30th of May 2011, aged 25. Lieutenant Marcus Case, 6th Aviation Regiment, 30th of May 2011, aged 27. Sapper Rowan Robinson, Incident Response Regiment, 6th of June 2011, aged 23. Sergeant Todd Langley, Commendation for Distinguished Service in 2002 and 2008. 2nd Commando Regiment, 4th of July 2011, aged 35. Private Matthew Lambert, 2nd Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 22nd of August 2011, aged 26. Captain Bryce Duffy, 4th Regiment, Royal Australian Artillery, 29th of October 2011, aged 26. Corporal Ashley Burt, 6th Engineer Support Regiment, the 29th of October 2011, aged 22. Lance Corporal Luke Gavin, 2nd Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 29th of October 2011, aged 29. Sergeant Blaine Diddams, Medal for Gallantry, Special Air Service Regiment, 2nd of July 2012, aged 40. Sapper James Martin, 2nd Combat Engineer Regiment, 29th of August 2012, aged 21. Lance Corporal Stefan Rick Miloskovich, 2nd 14th Light Horse Regiment, Queensland Mounted Infantry, 29th of August 2012, aged 40. Private Robert Pope, 6th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, 29th of August 2012, aged 23. Private Nathaniel Gallagher, 2nd Commando Regiment, 30th of August 2012, aged 23. Lance Corporal Mervyn McDonald, 2nd Commando Regiment, 30th of August 2012, aged 30. Corporal Scott Smith, Commendation for Gallantry, Special Operations Engineer Regiment, 21st of October 2012, aged 24. Sapper David Wood, 2nd Combat Engineer Regiment, 22nd of May 2013, aged 22. Corporal Cameron Baird, Victoria Cross, Medal for Gallantry, 2nd Commando Regiment, 22nd of June 2013, aged 32. Captain Paul Mackay, Combined Team Uruzgan 2, 16th of January 2014, aged 31. Lance Corporal Todd Chidgey, 2nd Commando Regiment, 1st of July 2014, aged 29.
Please observe the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this evening's last post ceremony. We thank you for joining us at the Australian War Memorial for this very special ceremony, and we wish you all a very good evening. Thank you. Dead, stay awake.